What you've just crossed over is a bridge, but it doesn't feel like a bridge. It feels like an attractive piece of public realm. It's a grade. What used to happen is, as you came out where it says Paradise Forum, you used to have to go down a series of steps and under a very unattractive, probably one of the worst subways originally, and then come steps back up because the road had priority. So what this bridge has done is opened up this area and made this connection from the ICC and Brindley Place right through the city and down towards Bullring. And what we're trying to do as a city council is increase those walkways and routes and create a really attractive pedestrian network throughout the city. So, and that's going to help with the regeneration. And the Paradise Circus redevelopment is really part of that and starts to bring back new public spaces, new vistas, a lot of legibility, because you'll be able to make eye-line connection from some of our key buildings. So that's one of the key elements to it. And the library building, the old library building, which was by John Maiden, a local architect, it is controversial. Some people love it. It's a Marmite building. Some people love it. The majority of the public don't love it. And although it looks very impressive from certain angles, what it does sit across those routes that we want to make, the connections that we want to make, and it certainly is not fit for purpose. So there always needed to be a new library. And if I refer back to our first site that we visited with Glenn, and Glenn talked about there being a plan for a new library by Richard Rogers in Eastside, and the reason that the location was changed was obviously a change of power in the local authority, and another perfectly logical and justifiable reason for having the library in the civic centre was made. That justification was made because we have a number of cultural facilities up here. The ICC, we've got the canals, we've got the Rep Theatre, and we've got the Museum and Art Gallery, we've got the Town Hall. So there was a very strong logic for having a civic library up here and concentrating the civic centre. So that's why the library is where it is. This is a big public square. You can't see it because of all the hoardings for the library. We'll get round to that in a minute. But it's always been a big public square that's not been contained by buildings. That's been its problem. It's been very leaky at the edges without any real feel of where you should go or how the square should operate. And it's been a bit of a problem for us because it had a large grassed area in the middle. The grass never was maintainable because it was a big public square. We used it for activities. Because we used it for activities, you got heavy uses on it for when you had exhibitions and shows and functions and people standing on it. So the grass never survived really well. So it was an imperfect public square. So putting the library here is actually getting us completing this side of the square, and there's a new major development proposed on that side over there, which is Arena Central, which will again front this square and make links through to the mailbox and tie in the canals and take us into a much bigger pedestrian circuit and public realm than we've got now. So if we move on now, we'll get to the library and have a look at it. Brought you here because that gives you a picture of the finished building. The architects are Meccanu, a Dutch company. They won a competition to design the new library. It's a scheme which is relatively high cost, 190 million pounds plus, and it's going to deliver us a world-class library. It also links in with the Rep Theatre, so it includes a complete refurbishment of the Rep Theatre as well, including new studios, a new studio theatre within it, and what it gives us is a library which is right for the modern age. It includes digital library, it includes exhibition areas, it includes conferencing, it has fantastic outdoor terraces which overlook the square, and it includes right on the very top of it the historic Shakespeare Library. So as you can see, the scale of the library within the square, I think is right. I think it's right to have this sort of sense of enclosure. I think it's right that we get a good series of buildings along this edge of the square. the architect's concept was 3 palazzos, and Baskerville House was the first of them. The Rep was the second of them, and the new library was the middle one, with that step up in the middle. So we're getting 9 stories, children's library, business library, digital library, all those sort of functions within the building. But we're also getting 3 stories of storage of the reference library, if you like, Birmingham's archive. So not only do we keep, for the moment, a world-class photography collection, but again, a world-class literary connect. Any questions on anything?
Are they tidying it up at all?
Oh yeah, okay, it is. Yeah, I mean they're reglazing it. They're reglazing, cleaning, taking away the staircase, improving the bar, improving the reception area, and essentially reception becomes on a whole glazed frontage along here. So it's shared with the library. So that's and there'll be areas that people sit around. Potentially sort of sponsored areas as well, where people can, do whatever, digital media, phones, that sort of stuff. So it could be a very interesting development on that ground level. So I mean, what we're guaranteeing is there's a sort of a string of activity across the front of the square, rather than just being single doorways.
Any plans on the other side?
Yeah, that's the Arena Central development, and so this building will go. That building stays, obviously. That's a listed building, but essentially in the middle of there's another public square. There are proposals already for hotels, offices, and it takes over what used to be the old Central TV site, and that leads you on down through to towards the mailbox. Okay, so which is another very exciting, and the Cube, very exciting, project that's happened in Birmingham over the past few years.
Is it going to be possible to be able to walk from Symphony Hall to Paradise practically undercover?
Well,
why would you want to?
There will be. Actually, this front piece projects out over, so you'd be sheltered there because you can see where the front is set back to that row of columns here. But those see the red columns there they're dummies. They'll come away. There's a cantilever there, so the front is the next set of columns back, concrete ones. Yes, there's going to be an entrance on the corner, and you could walk right the way through and come out. Yes.